Welcome back, students. All right, let's just jump right into it. Today, we're taking a walk through what is quite literally the world's largest sculpture park, created by a single artist. In this explainer, we're going to explore Gustav Vigeland's ultimate masterpiece. It's this sprawling, incredible universe of human emotion carved straight into stone and cast in metal. So it's not just a physical park, right? It's a deeply profound journey through granite and bronze that captures, well, exactly what it means to be human. 200. Let that number sink in for a second. It's honestly staggering when you really think about it. Because we aren't just talking about a little gallery collection or, a handful of statues sprinkled around. We are talking about a massive, open-air landscape containing over 200 distinct, larger-than-life sculptures. And here's the truly mind-blowing part. Every single one of these was modeled by just one man, Gustav Vigeland. The sheer scale of this whole thing, it's completely designed to leave you speechless.
Okay, Section 1. A 40-year life's work.
Now, to really understand what it means to build a life's work, a true life's work, we've got to look at the sheer momentum behind it. Vigeland didn't just casually sketch this out on a napkin and move on to the next project. This entire endeavor spans over 40 years of relentless, unwavering dedication. It's wild. A huge turning point happened right in the middle, in 1924, when the Oslo City Council officially approved placing his grand project in Vigelandsparken. But the heavy lifting, the intense physical manifestation of the park, that took place mainly between 1940 and 1949. That is when this dream truly rose right up out of the earth.
So what did it actually take to bring a 40-year dream into reality? Let's ground this timeline into something you can almost physically feel. The raw materials he used were granite, bronze, and wrought iron. I want you to just imagine the physical toll of working with elements this tough. I mean, today, carving granite requires diamond-tipped tools and modern machinery. Vigeland's team, they were doing this with immense, painstaking physical labor. He was literally translating soft, fragile human emotions, things like love, anger, childhood joy, and grief, into the absolute hardest, most unforgiving materials on the planet. Moving on to Section 2, the fountain's origin. This massive, sprawling universe of art actually started as a single, much smaller idea. A fountain. Originally, Vigeland planned to put it at Eidsvoll Plass, right in front of Stortinget, the Norwegian parliament. It would have been this beautiful, centralized city monument. But those plans fell through. They were never realized. And honestly, thank goodness for that, because getting rejected for that city square meant the fountain was relocated, and that eventually forced a pivot to the massive, expansive reality of Vigelandsparken. There, his imagination actually had the room to breathe. And boy, did it breathe. By 1924, his mind was absolutely racing. He wasn't just pitching a water feature anymore. The whole project had completely exploded. It now included a massive bridge that was just rich with sculptures and a towering stone centerpiece known as the monolith. He basically took a single fountain concept and totally transformed it into an entire architectural landscape. All right, Section 3, from bridge to monolith. So I want you to imagine you are walking through those main wrought iron gates right now. We're going to trace the exact physical path that Vigeland designed for his visitors. Step 1. We start right near the fountain, surrounded by these incredible bronze tree groups where human figures actually form the branches, representing the different stages of life, from childhood all the way to old age. Step 2 takes us across the sprawling bridge, lined with bronze sculptures depicting men, women, and children in literally every conceivable human interaction. And finally, Step 3 is the ascent. We walk up the steps to the highest point in the entire park, the awe-inspiring monolith plateau. But before we reach the top, just picture walking across that bridge on a crisp, misty morning. The fog wraps around these solid bronze figures, giving them an almost ghost-like living quality. It's moody, and the emotional weight is completely amplified. Plus, it's right here that you'll find the famous Senatogen, the furiously stomping, angry boy. If you look closely at him, you'll actually see his hand is polished to this gleaming gold. Why? Because millions of visitors have reached out to hold his hand over the decades. It's such a cool detail. Okay, so emerging from the bridge and past the fountain, you finally step up to the monolith plateau. This is it, the heart of the park. And the scale is just breathtaking. You're immediately greeted by a 14-meter, that's 46-foot tall obelisk. And here's the unbelievable part. It features exactly 121 human figures carved out of a single massive block of granite. One block. They're clinging to one another, desperately striving upward toward the sky. It is the profoundly visual representation of our shared human struggle and our ultimate desire for something greater. Which brings us to Section 4, the Wheel of Life. A summary.
So, what does all of this mean? Well, the park isn't just about pretty statues, right? It's deeply, deeply philosophical. Vigeland really wanted to visually document the entirety of the human condition, from the cradle to the grave. And you see this perfectly encapsulated in Livshulet, or the Wheel of Life. Positioned at the very end of the park's main axis, this sculpture is exactly what it sounds like. It's a literal wheel formed by a garland of women, children, and men holding on to each other. It represents eternity, the continuous, unbroken cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It basically condenses Vigeland's entire central theme into one breathtaking, endless loop of bronze.
And all of this leaves us with a final, really important thought. What kind of legacy takes a lifetime to build? Gustav Vigeland gave 40 years of his life, his sweat, and his soul to shape cold stone and hard metal into a mirror of our own humanity. So the next time you find yourself deeply passionate about a project, remember the sheer scale of what one person's true dedication can actually achieve. Let that spark your curiosity, and maybe even let it inspire your own life's work. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today. I'll see you next time.